Good day, Couple Connect community. Hello, tribe. Hello, CC tribe. How are you doing today? I'm very, very excited to be here as always. Thank you so much for being here. It's another beautiful training Thursday. If you're here, let me see you. Let me know that you are here. Please type in the comments. Let's know how you're doing today. How's the week been for you? Yeah, how's the week been for you? So let's know how you are doing. I'm very, very excited to be here as always. Yeah, I think I have someone live. If you're here, please type in the comments. Let me know how you're doing today. Let's know where you're watching us from and how you are doing. Okay, please type in the comments how are you doing today. It's another beautiful training Thursday, and today we're going to be talking about connection pillars, that every marriage should have, every husband, every wife, every couple, even about to wed, of course, they can learn. Please type in the comments if you can hear me and you can see me. Okay, I can see semi-serious. This is Femi, I guess. Femi, how are you doing? I owe you a call and I'm going to call you. How are you doing today? Awesome to see you here. Who else is here live? Can you hear me and can you see me? Alright, please confirm you can hear me and see me so that I can go into what we have for today. Today we're talking about 6 connection pillars every couple should have, every marriage should have. Alright, and so I'll be starting in the next 1 minute. Okay. Meanwhile, if you're here live, please type in the comments. Let me know that. Okay, good. So I believe that you can hear me. Connection pillars every marriage ought to get. Cool. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Yes, thank you so much for being here. All right, so today we're talking about 6 connection pillars, and I'm going to start with the first, which is first and foremost. All right, this community is about connection. It's called Couple Connect Community, and the connect in that phrase, represents or signifies connection, right? Because we believe that for any marriage to succeed, right, for any couple to actually succeed in marriage, there must be connection, and there are different elements. It's just like you're cooking egusi soup or vegetable soup or any kind of soup, onion soup, potato soup. All right, it has different ingredients that you would need to put to bring out the outcome you desire. All right, and so we believe that connection is so important to every marriage. You need to have connection with your partner, a deep connection. All right, and when there is that connection, it's easier to actually build intimacy in your marriage. So intimacy is connection, and so we believe that every couple can actually be genuinely happy and intimate in their marriage. So you can be genuinely happy in your marriage. You can be intimate in your marriage so long as you build this connection. So it is not magic, it is not a one-day job. It takes a process, right? It takes a process, and that is why this community exists. Okay, so we share day to day, week in, week out, and we share on how you can keep building this connection on a daily basis between yourself and your partner in your marriage, so that you're sure that your intimacy is intact. All right, so because once there's intimacy in a marriage, and of course by intimacy I'm not even talking about just sex, right? Because sex is an aspect, is only an aspect of intimacy, right? So connection is so important, and there are pillars, and what we're going to be talking about today is these connection pillars. There are many, but today we're going to be talking about 6. Okay, so stay with me to the end, and I believe that you would learn 1 or 2 things that would help your marriage and boost your intimacy and enhance happiness in your marriage. All right, and of course the first I would be talking about is love, right? I have not seen, right? I don't even think that we exist, right? We don't exist in isolation. We are built for relationship, right? And relationships succeed, better, succeed faster where there is love. All right, so that environment of love must exist in your marriage. And by love, I'm not just talking, because love is more or less like the most abused word in the world today. So you just hear I love you, but the real deep meaning of love is not seen. All right, so love is not just in terms of love is a verb, is a doing word, is an action. All right, love is a decision. It's a decision to commit to something. And of course, if you say you love your partner, you have to commit to knowing and understanding your partner, because you cannot love who you do not know. Okay, so it is very important that you love is one of the greatest connection pillars, and that is why I would not encourage you to get married to someone that you do not love. Okay, there are many who get married for different reasons. Anyways, we have these days we hear lots. People get married for money, for just for the prestige. People even get married just to the idea of marriage. All right, so love is a critical connection pillar that every couple needs. All right, and of course, what pillar is what keeps it keeps your your marriage is like a house, like the building. Okay, so it's like you're building a house, so and it has different pillars. All right, and so without this connection, this love pillar, right, that marriage cannot, it would only be for a matter of time. It would not it may not be sustainable. And so it's very important that love, that's lovely, relationships succeed. Exactly, relationships survive in an environment of love. All right, and by love, I'm not just saying love in just the general term, right? Love is that intense feeling of deep affection, right? So you need to love is sacrifice. Okay, and if you're a Christian, you know that Jesus died for us while we were yet sinners, and it's because he loved us. For God so loved the world that he gave. All right, so there is no love without giving. There is no love without sacrifice. All right, and this is why marriages today are not even lasting, because the real and deep meaning of love is not being expressed. All right, so you need to have that love, deep love. And of course, like I said, is to know and understand your partner. When you know and you understand your partner, you would know what your partner likes, what your partner dislikes. You would know the personality. You would know how to relate better with your partner, because the way you would relate with another woman may not be the same way you would relate with your wife. The way you would relate with another man will not be the same way you would relate with your husband, because everyone is different. And so you need to pay attention to the peculiarity and the uniqueness of your partner. All right, so love is very important. God is love, and if you have been able to embrace the love of God, then it will be easier to love another person. All right, because that's another thing. Some people have not been able to embrace this love that God has shown, and so it's difficult to love your partner. And this is why even in the scriptures it talks about the fact that husbands need to love, right? Husbands need to love. When you love, it's easier, right? It's a whole lot easier. The marriage becomes more enjoyable, right? So you show love without even waiting for a reciprocation. Even though love should be mutual, your partner, wives should love their husbands should love their wives, and this is so it's cardinal to the success of every relationship and marriage. Okay, and so that's the first pillar, the pillar of love. Love is to know, love is to understand, love is sacrifice, right? Love is giving, and it's not just giving of money, it may even be just your time, it may be your attention, right? Because now we have marriages where attention is out, right? We're so busy, busy with many other things, and we're not paying attention to our partners, all right? And so this is to challenge you today to revisit or go back to the deep and real meaning of love, what love really is, and let it be expressed in your relationship and marriage. The second connection pillar is friendship. Hey, Adebo Alisa, I'm great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing? How's the family? All right, thank you. And Femi, thanks for the highlights you're dropping in the comments. So the second connection pillar is friendship. All right, friendship. Friendship is so cardinal, is so critical. I started by saying love is important. Love is like the most important connection pillar in every relationship in your marriage. For your marriage to succeed, you need love as a connection pillar. And I'm not just saying love in terms of just feelings, I love you. Love in terms of action, in terms of sacrifice, in terms of giving. All right. And so the second is friendship. Friendship is so key, is so critical that friendship, if you're friends with your partner, it makes your relationship easier, it makes your marriage even better. There are many marriages that friendship is missing, friendship is lacking, and so that's why you find that there is no free flow of communication between such couples. All right, if you're not friends with someone, how would you want to talk to the person? How would you relate with the person? Friends fight, friends resolve their conflicts, friends tease each other, friends friends they share this mutual bond. All right, and that's what friendship is. I always say that before you get married, ensure that you build friendship with your partner, because marriage is not one big I see marriage as a continuation of the friendship that you built, right, while you were dating, while you were courting. All right, and that courting and dating should not end in marriage, because sometimes we get married and we relax. Okay, it's so easy to relax in marriage, it's so easy to relax in marriage, but we must constantly chase one another, chase your partner, keep chasing your partner, keep going on date nights, keep chatting, keep when you're dating, you can spend how many hours gisting and chatting with your partner, but when you get married, it may be because so many things are fighting for your attention. So it now means that you need to be intentional. You need to create, that time out of the no time, right? Because time, when you're even saying no time, time is just an illusion, right? There is time for what you create time for. Okay, so you have to create the time and build that friendship. So friendship is another connection pillar. All right, if there is no connection in that relationship or marriage, if there is no friendship in that relationship or marriage, then it may not be sustainable. It may not be sustainable. So it's very important that you build friendship with your partner. You build friendship with your partner. When your partner offends you, right, when your friend offends you, it's easier to talk about it, right? You want to talk about it, you want to share it, and get it resolved. All right, rather than you're just there's that distance. If there is that distance in your relationship, there is no friendship in your relationship, it will even be difficult to resolve conflict. Sometimes you may not even find the feelings, right? Sometimes the feelings, you'll be looking for it, you will not be able to find the feelings, right? But when you are friends, friends. You can yab each other, tease each other, and then still come back together. That's the whole idea. That's what makes marriage interesting. So friendship is another connection pillar. So if you're not married and you're even listening to this, ensure that you build friendship with your partner before you get married. And if you are married, right, you can still build friendship. Okay, you can still build friendship on a daily basis, right? It's a process. Marriage is a journey. It's not really about the destination. The destination is important because you need to have a vision for your marriage. However, the process is much more important. The learnings that what you're learning on a daily basis, how you're growing together on a daily basis, right, is much more, important. Okay, so that's the second connection pillar. The third is regard and respect. Having regard for each other, having respect for each other. This can enhance your connection in your relationship. I shared on the group, I think it was Monday, our Marriage Mindset Monday, where I shared that, my husband, after sex, he went with the first time, he told me thank you after sex. I was like, whoa. You get. And then when he eats, and after eating, and he says thank you, right? It's not that I'm trying not to get familiar with it, because each time it happens, I just feel, wow, that is very thoughtful, right? And so it means that it shows that he has regard for me. We're not taking each other for granted, because it's just a very thin line. It's a very thin line. And I also shared that, when he comes back from the office and, I go to the door and we hug each other, I take his bag, it's because I regard him. I have regard and I respect him. When I serve his food, I put it in a tray. It is because I have regard. I can as well just put it in a plate and, it's still fine. There will be no problem, right? It's not like he will not eat the food. The tray is not the food, right? But that presentation, shows that I have regard for this person. And so this is another very, very important. Somebody made a comment that day. I was saying that this is very good coming from a woman, right? That she's I wish she was even here, that she hears, of women who, say that they cannot serve their husbands their food. The husband should just go to the kitchen and serve his food, and they cannot just they can't serve their husbands and everything. And I'm like, it depends on, the foundation that was built, right? It depends on the foundation that was built. And that's why it's very important. The foundation of every marriage is so critical, right? You must build your culture. You must build the kind of marriage you want to have, even right from, before you even get married, okay? And so we learn a lot of things. Many of us have seen from media. We have learned from culture. Many of us have, I've learned a lot. And so all that we're expressing now is like you are all that you're expressing now is as a result of everything that you have learned. All right, is as a result of everything that you have learned. And so it's very important that if what you have learned or what you have seen, maybe what you even saw your parents do, okay, if it's not helping or working for your marriage, right? Or what you see in other marriages, if it's not helping or working for your marriage, then adopt another strategy, okay? So it's very important that you show regard, you show respect. So if it doesn't mean that if you don't show it, nobody will die, right? However, it adds spice to your marriage. It adds that it adds that connection, to your marriage. Your spouse says, oh wow, she really respects me. Oh wow, he really respects me. He shows regard for me. All right, and so it's very important in every marriage, showing regard or having regard, right? When you have regard for someone, you would naturally respect that person. Regard is like you place that person, on a high pedestal, right? Like you just you value that person so much that it's difficult for you to disrespect that person. Okay, so it is very important that you show regard and respect in your marriage. Okay, I was also sharing that day, and I was saying, like, for example, my husband can get to, it doesn't mean that he can't serve himself, right? He can serve himself, right? Like some days back, when he came back, I was feeding our son, and he came to the room and did all he had to do, and then came out. I was still feeding him, and he went to the kitchen. The food was already ready. He went to the kitchen and served himself, right? And he ate. And when he finished eating, I carried my our son's plate, and took his own plate too and took it to the kitchen. All right. So there's no hard and fast rule. It's what brings that bond, what brings that connection. So it also depends on culture, because some people allow culture and tradition, play a huge role in their relationship and marriage. Okay. So some still, it just depends on how you have been able to build your relationship from the very beginning. So if you see each other as that master and servant, if you have a master servant relationship in your if you have a master servant approach in your relationship, right? And if it's working for you, fine. However, if it's not working, then you can adopt other strategies. Okay, so for us, we decided from the very beginning, from the get-go, that we would we're adopting that friendship, that even though is the head, right? It doesn't mean that it doesn't give us in the house, both the wife and myself and the children, that platform to express ourselves. It doesn't mean that I now because I'm the head, so I must everybody must when I'm coming, everybody must just shiver and shift and and all of that. So that's why but there is a thin line. And that's why even as friends, even as you're building friendship in your relationship, you should still respect each other. You should have regard for each other. Okay, regard like respect, or is there a difference? Okay, yeah, so like I think I just expatiated. I was like, having regard shows that you value this person, you put this person on a high pedestal, right? And this naturally now makes you respect that person. Okay, it makes you respect that person. But if you don't value someone, if you don't value something, right, it's just like when I think it's Miles Monroe that said, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So if you do not value the impact of this person, the position of this person in your life or in your relationship, then it will be easy for you to just disrespect such a person. All right, so it's very important that you regard and respect each other in your relationship. Okay, so that's another connection pillar. And the fourth is trust. What's a relationship without trust? What's a marriage without trust, right? What's trust? Is that firm, like you have that belief in the capacity or ability or reliability of someone, and in this context, your partner. So if you do not trust your partner, there is nothing you're doing together as couples. So you need to build trust. Trust is so cardinal. Yesterday, Communication Wednesday, I shared a post. I was saying that it's not, I said we should have like a debate, and the topic was, it's not necessary to disclose your PIN or passwords in your marriage. Are you for the motion or against the motion, right? So somebody commented, I was like, this the negative twist of the topic, just initially just put him like, okay, what? I don't get this, right? However, I said that for him, there is nothing hidden, all right, and that's the whole idea, for your relationship. There should be nothing hidden. So I deliberately put that question that way to just make us think, right? So it's very, very important. Trust is so cardinal in every relationship and marriage. Does your partner know your password? Does your spouse know your PIN? Right? So it's breaking homes today. I tell you, it's breaking homes today. So, and that is why you need to build trust. If there is no trust in your, and trust is earned, right, from the very get-go. If you don't trust that person, you don't have any business with that person. Especially if in this context of marriage, even in business, to build partnerships, you have to build with someone that you trust. There has to be trust, right? And there are consequences for breaching that trust. Okay, and so why is it that in marriage we just now take things for granted? You put passwords, your partner must not know. There was someone that was sharing something. It was at a dying point, right? And everything was locked, his phones and all of that. And he needed money for treatment. I think he was unconscious. So the wife didn't have access to his account, to his phone. Okay. So it's very important, because anything apart from that, it's not even for even such cases, but to build friendship. Friends are, there has to be that mutual bond. If you're friends with each other, you must share that mutual bond, and this means that nothing should be hidden between the both of you. So there should be nothing hidden. So I have heard of cases where, partners, lock their phones, because they don't want their partners to see their chats. They don't want their partners to see, balance in their account and all of that. All of this is not necessary. Okay, it's not necessary. So if your marriage must thrive, there has to be transparency. You have to trust your partner, and it's not just even about pins and passwords. Even sharing information, right? Sharing your mistakes, your vulnerabilities, right? Your errors, your successes. If something happens right now, who is the first person you want to talk to? Is he another friend or your partner? So if your partner is quiet, if your partner is not talking with you, then you need to check these things. Is there love? Is there friendship? Is there trust? Because you're going to be in this marriage for as long as possible, and you don't want to be frustrated or have a boring relationship, or have a very a relationship that you cannot talk, you cannot share with your partner. All right, so it's very important that you build trust. You build trust. There is no relationship that will thrive without trust. There should be no secrets. There should be no secrets between you in that marriage. So trust is another connection pillar that would help your marriage blossom. All right. So the second to the last is commitment. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. I'm very excited. If you're still here, I can still see some people live. Thank you. If you have any question, to please ask. And Femi, I hope I was able to answer your question. All right. So the fifth point is commitment. Commitment is paramount. Of course, love is commitment. And what is commitment is like being dedicated to a cause. Like you're dedicated, your 100% commitment should be in this marriage. In fact, it shouldn't be. Someone was saying that in my own marriage, it should be 50-50. It's 50-50. If he's not doing his part, then I'm not ready to do my part. However, for about words that I work with, I always tell them, if you are coming into marriage, you need to come in with that mindset that I'm bringing my 100%. I'm bringing in my A game into this marriage. And so commitment is so key. Some of us are committed in other areas. We're committed with our friends outside marriage. We're committed in our businesses, in our workplaces, but in our marriage, how committed are we? How committed are you in that relationship? How loyal are you to your partner? How loyal, how dedicated are you? Remember, we said that love is to know, love is to understand. So if you're committed, right? It means that you want to know your partner, you want to be dedicated, you want to help your partner, you want to give your all, empty yourself in that marriage, empty yourself in that relationship. And this is what commitment is all about. It's a connection pillar that would help, build your marriage, build it to a point where both of you will just be balling, right? And your children will learn from the both of you. They will learn from the both of you. They will emulate, this character, this virtue of commitment. All right, so that's the fifth connection pillar. The final one is support. Right? There was one of my friends who was very sick, and I visited her, and the mother was always there. But for all the times that I visited, I never saw the father. Serious illness. I don't want to mention the serious long-term, is a very serious condition. The mother was always there, but I never saw the father for once. All right, so we need to be present in our relationship, no matter how busy we are. Right? We need to create time and be there for your partner. Be there to support. What is support? Is like you are rendering assistance. You're bearing each other's burden. Right? So you're in that marriage to help each other to be better, to reduce burdens, take off weights off each other. And this is not to say that you just go and transfer all your baggage and load on your partner, right? You need to work on yourself as an individual, right? And then ensure that you're supporting each other, reduce burdens. Ask your partner, how can I be of help to you today? How can I support you? How can I support you in your career? How can I support you? My husband is not here live, but I know the things that he does on the background that makes me come on live here to shine. All right, so you need to be able to support each other spiritually, physically, mentally, financially, in every area. That's what support is all about. There was a time I had an event, right, and I needed to be there, and I it's not an event that I could have taken the kids, right? And so my husband was I think he was home that day. He had to decline one of his engagements so that he can be home with the kids. It was one that took their bath that morning. He made their breakfast. In fact, they even made me jealous, right? They had fun, with him. So when I went to the event, I was so relaxed, I was so free, I didn't have anything to worry about, and that's what support is all about. There was a time that it was not also in our location. It was away on an official assignment. I stood in the gap. These kids are our kids. It's not just for the wife. Because I hear of cases where, the husbands are not present. They are not present. They just leave everything for the wife to handle. All right? Even though, yes, you've gone out to look for the money and everything, your emotional presence cannot be compared, to no matter how much money is not everything. Money cannot buy attention. Money cannot buy emotional presence. So you need to be present in each other's lives. And when you are present, you'll be able to know what's going on with each other. And you'll be able to know the angles and the areas to support each other. Support is not just all about money. There has to be emotional support. You need to be there to encourage each other, to praise each other, because there are times that you would have enough. There are times that you would have barely enough, and there are seasons that you have more than enough. So money is not everything, but you need to be there to support each other. There are times that your partner will be sick, and you need to be there for your partner. You need to be there for each other. There are times that your partner will be down, Are you there to give your partner encouragement at those times? And if you are not friends, how would you even take note? How would you even observe? How would you even want to tell your partner what you're going through? So you see that all of these connection pillars are interwoven. So in wrapping this up, I hope that I've been able to, share some value, and you've been able to take, one or two lessons that you can, begin to apply in your relationship and in your marriage. So these are the 6 connection pillars we will be talking about today, or we have shared today. I started by talking about love, friendship, having regard and respect for each other, trust. There should be no secrets, right? There should be no secrets in your relationship, because as if there are secrets, you're opening, you're creating cracks in the wall of your marriage. And cracks, it just comes subtly, and then eventually it leads to a very big hole in your marriage. So there should be no secrets. You should be able to trust your partner, right? And you should be committed. And this thing is a mutual. It has to be mutual, right? You should be mutually committed to your relationship. And the final is support. Give assistance, render assistance, right? Render assistance in your relationship. Okay, so husbands, support your wives support your husbands, right? With your words, with the use of words, encouraging in any way, financially. Sometimes it may even be with a smile. It may even be just to say, oh, well done, I like what you're doing, or everything will be fine. Okay, so little things really matter in our relationships and marriages. All right, so I hope that I've been able to share. If you have any question, please let me know. We're wrapping up now. Yeah, thank you, Femi. Yes, Claire, yes. Commitment, yes. All right, so thank you so much for being here. If you do not have my book, Start Right, I'm sure you can see it up there, right? It's a guide for young couples to thrive in marriage from day one. All right, so it's a book that is very relevant for about weds. All right, it's a book that is relevant for newlyweds, and it's a book that is relevant for those who are that have been long married. All right, because you can also read, apply some lessons for yourselves, and you can also use it to counsel others. So this book will be won on the 1st of September, and we're going to be having a very, very, very mega sales on the book. All right, so please, as much as possible, prepare for it. From the 1st to the 5th of September, we're going to be having sales on the book. It's a book that you can use as a wedding gift. You can give the youths in your organization, in your office, in your church, wherever you find yourself. All right, so yeah, I think we're good to go. I'm hoping that you would, if you're still here, please can you type a take home, something that you have been able to, you're going to apply and implement. All right, something that you're going to apply and implement in your relationship today or going forward. All right, so DM me your WhatsApp number. Thanks for the okay, no problem. I would even call you. I'll call you. Okay, so thank you so much. In the absence of no question, thanks so much for being here. Please keep the group alive. Please keep making your contributions so that we can keep moving and keep inviting people in this community. All right, our core message remains building and boosting genuine happiness and intimacy in marriages. All right, so yeah, thank you so much for being here. I gotta go now. Bye for now. Thank you. Bye.